Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We'll begin with a short prayer and a salute to our flag. Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all of our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom. Salute to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jessica, statement of publication.
Take notice that this regular agenda meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on this 8th day of April 2024 has been posted and advertised in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Balka.
Here.
Khaleesi.
Here.
Minoha.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Sinarski.
Here.
Zabrowski.
Here. Okay. Council presidents, prior minutes.
I move the minutes of the mayor and council be approved on roll call vote, subject to correction if necessary for March 25th, regular and agenda sessions.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Roll call.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balka.
Yes.
Khaleesi.
Yes.
Minoha.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Okay, so we have two presentations tonight. So we will start with our first presentation with our recycling coordinator, basically Earth Girl, Elise Barone, my friend for a quarter of a century.
Thank you so much. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Elise. I'm your recycling coordinator and clean communities coordinator. A couple of weeks ago, Donna at the last meeting asked if I could come and talk about recycling because there's a lot of confusion. Sometimes people don't know what to recycle or how to recycle. So if I could come and do a presentation. My presentations usually last anytime from 20 minutes to 2 hours. When I go to the schools or the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts, I do some classes at Rutgers. I promise you, it is not going to take that long today. Jessica, can I have the time on the clock, please? If not, I'm going to set it. Can I? Yeah, no, I really do.
How much?
And I have to tell you, I rehearsed this for 5 minutes. I have not gone over. So when Donna had asked me to come, she says there are some questions that she had, and she wanted to know what I get most often when people call me about recycling. Like, what is the biggest questions? So some of the biggest questions I get is pizza boxes. Can we recycle pizza boxes? The answer is no. The haulers do not want it in our stream. Now, we are under contract and they won't take it, but the contract is coming up and they said they might revisit it because my pizza boxes are clean and I think they should be recycled. So I'm fighting that one. The other question was water bottle tops. Can they be recycled? If you keep them on the bottle, they can. If they're off, you throw them in the garbage. So it gets very confusing. Hangers, no, hangers cannot be recycled. So there's a real easy way to find out what can and can't be recycled. And I will let you know, Donna, I'm putting you on the spot. When I do a presentation, we play games. So here's the first game. I'm only doing one. All right, what do we do with our glasses from today? Do we recycle these or do we not recycle? All these solar glasses.
Oh, I don't know.
I keep them as a souvenir.
Okay, that's one option. All right. For the hundreds of thousands of people who has these glasses, if you want, you can recycle them. Just take the plastic out of the middle. You can donate them, and I have organizations that will send them to Latin America for the next solar eclipse for the children that are there. And all this information will be on Recycle Coach tomorrow. So let me tell you about Recycle Coach. Recycle Coach is a free app that we have. The DEP paid for it for the state of New Jersey. It's this awesome app, and if you need any information at all, you can go there. I had someone call me up today. She goes, I have blinds. What do I do with blinds? I said, let's look on Recycle Coach. So she did, and blinds will go in your regular garbage, her bulk garbage, which is this week. So Recycle Coach will tell you when is your garbage, when is your recycling, what you can and can't recycle, answer your questions when we do brush, when we do leaves. It has all the information you possibly can need if you have a smartphone. Now, I know the older people, some people do or don't. If you don't have a smartphone, you can look at our great books that we put out every year, or you can call me. I love talking to people, as you know. So all the information will be on Recycle Coach, and then this way, the answers are answered. And it's a really good program. The other thing I wanted to, that Donna had asked me, what do people recycle most that they shouldn't? So plastic bags. They should not be in our waste stream.
What
They're
is it, Donna? What is it?
plastic bags. So
Oh, really?
plastic bags shouldn't go in there because they mess up the stream. They in the big, material recovery plant. The other thing is Tupperware. Tupperware shouldn't go in there. Forks, plastic forks and knives, they shouldn't go in there. So all that, again, it'll be on Recycle Coach. We have that information. It's great. It's there. Curbside is single stream recycling. So it all goes together, and at the material recovery plant, it will all get separated. And there is a lot of money in recycling. It does not go to the landfill. These haulers would not be doing it if they weren't making money. We do not at our recycling center. We separate commingled and boxes, and so this way we sell part of the commodity and then we pay for part of the commodity. All right, I wrote everything down so I wouldn't talk longer than 5 minutes. So you can set notifications on Recycle Coach. I'm going, I think, okay, sorry, I don't mean to rush because I have 44 I'm really doing it, Jess. Part of my other responsibilities is I am the Clean Communities Coordinator or Earth Day person. So Earth Day is, we're celebrating it April 20th down at Kennedy Park from 9 to 12. We're going to have a cleanup. Shade Tree Commission will be there. The Environmental Commission will be there. The Green Team will be there. We'll be cleaning up the park. We will be doing more presentations at the library for information from the environmental. So this is not just a quick, we have that information for you. But
All right, it's all right. I'm going to give you a dispensation because it's a critical topic.
all right. Well, as the Clean Communities Coordinator.
This is a second 5 minutes.
Uh,
For the.
Oh, I get a second 5 minutes?
Just go
No,
ahead.
I don't.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, and I did say, I know that I rushed. We're going to do an event together with the Environmental Commission, with the recycling Green Team and the Shade Tree at the library. I'm going to bring my worms. We're going to do worm composting. And this will give our residents the opportunity to come and talk to us for the information that they want. And actually, we'll all be at Earth Day, so you can always come out and ask the questions. I never want to cut anything short. It's just I know there's a lot on your agenda tonight. So I just wanted to give you a little soundbite. Like I said, I'm pushing Recycle Coach because it's free and it's a lot of great information. But as my responsibility as Clean Communities Coordinator, I get this awesome opportunity to bring up my superintendent, George Gavrin, who him and I work tirelessly in our community. And we are very fortunate to have a volunteer here, and we would like to present a recognition award to Gianna. Should I say?
Get up there, proud mom.
Come on, Dad.
Nicole, go up there.
You could, oh, you're videotaping. Come on. All right. All right. So let me read this because we are so proud of Gianna. So
Look at
Gianna
the-
was awarded.
Face the camera, Donna, Elise. You're Elise.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Gianna, it gives me great pleasure to recognize Gianna, who was awarded from the State Clean Communities. You know how many minutes I've done now?
Well, Pete tells me you can
All
go
right.
for a while.
Thank you, and I'm sorry for keeping you so long. Okay, it gives me great pleasure to present for George and I to present a recognition award to Gianna from the Borough of Sayreville for receiving the State Clean Communities Volunteer Award in recognition of her outstanding efforts and her continuous volunteering with the Clean Communities Program. Gianna is a student who has been part of our program, helping it succeed, grow, and make a difference in the borough of Sayreville. You really have, sweetheart. It gives me great pleasure to be able to nominate you for that award. It was wonderful having you get the award down in Atlantic City from the state director. She had said that it was an awesome opportunity. She was so proud to meet you. Gianna's been with us. Okay, now I'm going to close this instead of reading because I get a few more minutes. Gianna's been with our program since 7th grade. So when she came, she was this high. She's not this high. She drives now. Stay off the road, right? She comes and she volunteers. She comes to talk to people. She works at the tables. When my other volunteers, haven't gotten there yet, she's always there. National Night Out. You've been at all of our events, either playing games, like I said, I do like to play a lot of recycling games, or working the table, just talking to people because she gets it. She is also the environmental coordinator for the Leos at the Sayreville High School. And so when the Leos come to my cleanups, I've gotten probably about, I don't know, last cleanup, I think we had 75 between the Leos and some of the other groups. So she helps coordinate the cleanups in our community. And we're so very, very proud of her. So Gianna, it is George and I and the Borough of Sayreville, great pleasure to be able to give this to you and say thank you for all that you do. I'm sorry, should we let the high school person talk? No. I'm kidding. Thank you. I think that's really it. If you do have, I will say, I know you have a question.
Who is doing, are you doing Arbor Day also?
No.
Arbor Day, no, it's a proclamation, sorry.
Oh, see,
Okay.
not a
Go ahead and
presentation.
read it.
And Mayor,
Yes.
before Elise leaves, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about the environmental shout out?
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, there wasn't enough time. Jess, I'm so
Elise,
sorry.
this is important stuff for the
I
borough.
know.
Yeah, I mean, so everyone knows, Elise has been working for really almost 25 years that I've known her on recycling and environmental projects. And because of her diligence and her dedication, both to the environment and to the people of Sayreville, she has gotten many grants and many awards for the town. So this is important stuff.
Oh, thanks, I appreciate that. So we have started something along with the Environmental Commission as we are doing environmental shout outs for the month of April. And then we will continue it as a business recognition also. So we have shouted out Sabre. We have a whole list of companies. This is all going on Facebook. We're so proud of what they're doing for sustainability in the borough of Sayreville and helping us in the environment and in their recycling endeavors. The more that we capture in recycling, the more money we get back in grants.
Yeah.
So these companies have been awesome with their information. So we'll be shouting them out. Nicole, every Tuesday and Thursday. Nicole has done an awesome job setting it up, that it'll go up there, and then we'll let all the businesses that we're recognizing and shouting out, let them know. So thank you. Oh, and one more thing. We're doing a paper shred April 27th at Fort Grumpy. It will not be open for anything but the paper shred from 9 to 12.
Thank you, Elise.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Job well done. Go ahead and-
Whereas the Borough of Sayreville was named Tree City USA by the Arbor Day Foundation in honor of its commitment to effectuate urban forestry management, and whereas Sayreville obtained this recognition by meeting the program's 4 requirements: a tree border department, a tree care ordinance, an annual community forestry budget, and an Arbor Day observance and proclamation. And whereas Tree City USA program was started in 1976 and is sponsored by the Arbor Day Foundation in partnership with the U.S. Forest Service and the National Association of State Foresters. And whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than a million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And now therefore, Kennedy O'Brien, Mayor of the Borough of Sayreville, does hereby acknowledge that Arbor Day will be observed April 26, 2024, and urge all citizens to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands to support our town's urban forestry program. Just need a motion to accept that motion.
Motion?
Make a motion to accept the proclamation.
Roll call?
Is there a
Is
second?
there a second? Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Khaleesi.
Yes.
Noha.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Okay, we're going to go into, we have a little bit of business to take care of in executive. How much time, Counselor?
5:10.
Minutes?
5 minutes.
Maybe 10, but
We
probably less.
hold ourselves to a high standard,
Okay.
all right?
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore it be it resolved by the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Sayreville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows. The public portion of this meeting is hereby adjourned in order that the governing body may meet in closed private session for approximately 5 to 10 minutes to discuss the following matters. Litigation. Following the conclusion of said closed session, the governing body shall reconvene the open portion of this public meeting to consider any other matters which may be properly brought before it at this time. The nature and content of the discussion which occurs in closed sessions shall be made public at such time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
I make a motion to go into executive session.
Second? Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Khaleesi.
Yes.
Noha.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Make a motion to return
Return to open.
to open.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Khaleesi.
Yes.
Noha.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski. Public hearing on the following ordinances. Ordinance number 12-24, Borough of Sayreville, County of Middlesex. Ordinance addressing stormwater management, private storm drain inlet retrofitting.
Are there any comments on this ordinance? Being no comments, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Kalachi?
I move the public hearing to be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Is there a second? Roll call?
Councilpersons Khaleesi.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Anoha.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski. Ordinance number 13-24, Borough of Sayreville, County of Middlesex. Ordinance addressing stormwater management, refuse containers, and dumpsters.
At this time, I'm going to open to the public. Are there any comments on this ordinance? Being no comments, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Khaleesi.
I move the public hearing to be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Khaleesi.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Anoha.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski. Ordinance number 14-24, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, ordinance addressing stormwater management, privately owned salt storage.
Are there any comments on this ordinance? Being no comments, I'll entertain a motion, Councilman.
I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading, and is advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Carlisi,
Yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Enoha,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Ordinance number 15-24, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, ordinance addressing fees for the Department of Recreation.
Are there any comments on this ordinance? Being no comments, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Sinarski.
I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilperson Sinarski,
Yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Carlisi,
Yes.
Enoha,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Ordinance number 16-24, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, ordinance rescinding ordinance number 11-23.
Are there any comments on this ordinance? Being no comments, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Balca.
Move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Balca,
Yes.
Carlisi,
Yes.
Enoha,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Okay, under appointments, I have some appointments. I'm going to appoint Mavis Hyacinth to the Rec Board. And I'm going to appoint Nancy Johnson, Patricia Farrell, and Mary Ann Weber to the Cultural Arts Council.
I make a motion to accept the appointments as stated.
Is there a second?
Second.
Yes.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Carlisi,
Yes.
Enoha,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
New business?
I'll
Okay,
just
which
ask
ones are
Matt.
being pulled?
Matt, they want to pull 17, 18, and 19.
That's fine.
They motion to table or pull?
You can, yeah.
Just make the announcement.
That's
Okay.
fine.
The Borough Council is looking to pull ordinance number 17, 18, and 19.
Do we need a motion?
Do they need a motion or no?
You don't need one. If you want,
Okay.
if someone wants to make a motion to table, you can do that. No one's
I'm-
put forth,
I'm-
therefore, no
Okay.
table.
That's fine. Okay, ordinance number 20, ordinance of the Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, New Jersey, authorizing the execution of a financial agreement by and between the Borough and Parliament Section 1 Urban Renewal LLC pursuant to the long-term tax exemption law NJSA 40A 20-1 et sec.
Okay.
From admin and finance.
Councilman Balca,
I can make the,
you can?
Move.
Go ahead, Melanie.
I move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on April 29th, 2024.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts,
Yes.
Balca,
No.
Polisi,
Yes.
Enoha,
No.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Okay. Resolutions?
Public portion.
Oh, I'm sorry. At this time, I'm going to open the public portion for comments on the resolutions. Are there any comments? Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Jim Robinson, 11 Burrell Square in Portland. Good evening, everybody. First thing I want to ask about is the bill list, JCP&L. There's $18,000 on there. For streetlights, I know at one of the meetings I missed, the attorney said that he reached out to JCP&L about lights, and said they were very happy to hear that Kennedy was back. And at another meeting I was at, the mayor said that he would activate the senior citizens to get them to do something about the streetlights. I went down to the senior citizen complex. They had a different plan when they, when they heard about the mayor's plan. So, but basically my question, or my statement, because I can't ask questions, is I would like to know if we are still paying for lights that are out, and I would like to know if we have a plan of action and if we have a schedule as to when the lights will be fixed.
Anything else, Jim?
Yes. The other thing is 2024-101, the benefits agreement with the MCUA. I spoke about that a while ago at a council meeting, and I am wondering, besides the money, what the host benefits are. Everybody knows, everybody who has a nose knows there are problems associated with the MCUA and their being in town. And I'm wondering if this agreement addresses the $23 million wastewater treatment plan and the protections to the borough in case something goes wrong while that is taking place, while it's under construction. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. We've experienced that before. And I am wondering if that agreement addresses a replacement for Commissioner Giuliano, who passed away, who was Saraville's representative to the MCUA. He fought on behalf of Saraville to make sure that we got the host benefits to which we are entitled. And I am hoping this agreement addresses that. And I am also wondering, I'm trying not to ask a question here, I am also wondering if this agreement references Riverton and what is going to be done to ensure that the MCUA's problems don't spill over to Riverton. Thank you very much. And if anybody would like to use the rest of my time to answer or comment on my comments, which are not questions, that would be wonderful. I'm sure the public would appreciate it.
Are there any other comments? Anyone else have comments? Then I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion. Ken?
Thank you, Mayor. Ken Olszewski, 108 North Edward Street. I'm on the same resolution we just talked about, 2024-101, but a different aspect of it. The resolution, I believe, calls for $1.20 is the rate for the next 10 years. I just wonder if everyone knows that the rate for the last 10 years was 120, and the rate for the 10 years before that was 120. So at the end of this agreement, it'll be 30 years at a rate of 120. I find that interesting. I find the fact that I don't know of anything else that stays the same for 30 years. I also am suggesting that if we looked a little bit better at our revenue, we might have some money to pave some of those roads that we talked about a couple meetings ago. But a rate of $1.20 for 30 years, very familiar with this agreement because, as I said here last meeting, I helped author it, the original one. And there were rate increases, by the way, in that agreement. Every year or every second year, it was nothing like the agreement we have here. And my last thing is, I wonder if the agreements we have with the county, I know this isn't the county, but it's an offshoot of it. I wonder if the agreements we have with the county, like the county health department, if that rate has stayed the same for the last 30 years. It looks like the taxpayers are taking it on the chin once again. Thank you.
Are there any other comments? Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2024-106 authorizes the execution of a shared services agreement with the Saraville Economic Redevelopment Agency for Administrative Services. And I hope somebody will explain what that is about. Also, I hope we will learn who the negotiator was that negotiated that wonderful 0% increase with the MCUA, because that would be very informative. Of course, I can't ask those questions, but I have more than 3 minutes left. 4 minutes, so if I'll stand here if anybody wants to offer a comment about what the shared services agreement with Sarah is. Councilman Zabrowski is the chairman of Sarah. He would be in a wonderful position to respond to that.
Any other comments?
And there
Jim?
are some folks, I'm not done with my comment,
Any
Mayor.
other comments?
And there are some folks up here who are talented, intelligent, dedicated, some are well-paid. I'm sure they would be in a position to speak to that 0% increase in host benefits that we are getting from the MCUA. And I would be very willing to yield the rest of my time if anybody would like to not answer those questions because they weren't questions, but to comment on that because I'm sure the residents of Sayreville, the taxpayers, the people who pay the bills here, the people who would probably like that host agreement to go up in much the same way their sewer bill goes up and their water bill goes up from time to time, I'm sure those people would like to know about it. So if anybody would like to comment, now would be a wonderful opportunity. It would be a great opportunity to tell people what that shared services agreement is and how we came about negotiating a 0% increase with the MCUA. And also who negotiated that wonderful increase and why they would do that, why on earth they would do that. That would be a good time if anybody wants to do that. No?
Are there any other comments?
You know, we saw, and this is like watching the eclipse all over again.
Are you finished?
No, I'm not, Mayor.
Well,
I still have some time.
I am finished with
Okay.
you, so please
I'm
take your
just
seat.
commenting,
Please
okay?
take your seat.
I'll sit down as soon as I'm
You're
done.
repeating the
This is like
same thing
watching
a
the
number of times.
Eclipse all
Jim,
over again.
please take your seat.
It is.
Now you're
it is
just trying to insult
embarrassingly
us.
Shameful.
Sit down,
And you
Jim.
should all be ashamed of yourselves
Well,
that
we are
nobody
ashamed
will
of you,
answer a
so please
question.
sit, Jim.
Nobody will answer a
Please
question
sit,
posed by
Jim.
a taxpayer.
Jim,
You should be ashamed of yourself.
please sit.
All of you.
The theatrics is now over. Thank you. Are there
Sorry,
any other?
did you say
Sit
something to me,
down. I
Mayor?
said, yes, the theatrics is now over. Please take your seat. Well rehearsed. Jim, share that comment with the rest of the people here. Please share that comment. Was that a spontaneous comment or a rehearsed? Oh, you're one that you gave just to the governing body.
What I just said to you, Mayor, is back.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be back.
We hope. Are there any other comments? Being no other comments, we are going to pull for review Resolution 2024-107.
I'll make a motion to pull 2024-107 from the resolution list
Correct. And to close the public portion.
and to close the public portion.
Is there a second? Second. Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts,
Yes.
Balca,
On Resolution 2024-101 and 2024-105, I'm voting no, yes on all others.
all right, hold on, 101,
Just be clear, was the, I thought that the motion was a motion to close the public.
Okay.
Remove 107.
Okay.
From the resolution list. I
Not
think
to-
that's all we have right now.
Okay.
Then motion to
Yes.
approve the other.
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Is there a motion to close the public portion?
okay, Roberts,
That was a yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Khaleesi,
Yes.
Enoha,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Now we need a motion to adopt the remaining.
Now you need a motion on 99 through 106.
I move the consent agenda items be received and approved on roll call vote. The remaining.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balca,
No on 24-101 and no on 24-105, yes on all others.
Khaleesi,
Yes.
Enoha,
Esteemed Mayor, but before I vote, do you mind if I have a professional or a liaison speak towards 101 and 106 if possible?
What is it that you want to do?
Have either a professional or a liaison and speak in more details towards 101 and 106
Well, we're just
before I
voting
vote.
on it. We can certainly discuss it at the next agenda meeting.
Right, I just think that the
You can
additional
abstain
details,
if you like.
I'll take a moment to abstain then.
Okay.
just those? 101,
And 106, I'm a no for 105.
Stanarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion to accept the correspondence as listed.
Make a motion to accept the correspondence as listed.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Valka.
Yes.
Colisi.
Yes.
Enoha.
Yes.
Stanarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Mayor,
Wanna Read the notice of public hearings.
that was under the correspondence.
Committee reports, Administration and Finance, Councilman Balka.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no report this month.
Okay, Planning and Zoning, Councilman Zabrowski.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I just wanted to personally express some condolences to the Scanlon family for the loss of Joe Scanlon. As someone who has, I had the opportunity to work in various ways with Joe for close to 40 years, whether it was with him at the county, whether as the animal control warden, or also, and most particularly, with his work with the Morgan First Aid Squad. Joe was certainly a unique individual. There were probably only one mole, and that was Joe. And Arbor will, I'll miss him. And again, I just want to express my condolences. Number two, Ordinance 2024, which is the Trammell pilot. Sarah will be providing a presentation at the next meeting, which is April 29th, to provide some details in reference to that. Also, I'm responding to a request for information regarding the place. There was some discussion as to whether the place, which is an apartment complex off River Road, was up to holding its standards when it comes to special individuals or occupancy. So I checked with our municipal planner, Peter Van Den Koe, and this is the information that came back. And it says, regarding the special needs occupancy at the place, they reviewed the deed restriction and related documentation for the project, and with Community Investment Strategies, which is the developer, and I think also the operator, to confirm a few details. Based on the documentation, it appears that CIS had agreed to include the greater of 5 units or 5% of the project for occupancy for individuals with special needs. As this development contains 88 affordable units, a 5% requirement yields 4.4 units. Since the language requires that the greater of 5 units or 5% of the project be reserved for special needs, that's how they came up with 5 units reserved for special needs. Homeless veterans are a common special needs for groups that developers select to fulfill these requirements for low-income housing tax credit projects, LIHTC. The special needs group selected for this project was, in fact, homeless veterans. Based upon documentation reviewed, apart from the special needs option, the project is required to make units available as well to general public without further restriction to tenancy other than, of course, for income restriction to provide housing, eligible housing. So what I also found out is at this point, there's something called the Qualified Allocation Plan for 2023-2024. And in fact, homeless veterans are in fact part of that special needs. With that said, I do appreciate the response from our municipal planner to reach out to CSI and ensure that they are doing their due diligence in making a good faith effort to target market the special needs group. I understand there are times where legislation changes and sometimes it can be broadened. If in fact that is the case, I've asked our borough, our municipal planner to reach out to CSI to see if in fact their requirements and their marketing has broadened as well to meet those requirements. From my understanding, based on listening or having this discussion with our municipal planner, his experience is that this is a very difficult category of special needs individuals, and they do struggle. We're not the only ones struggling to find interested applicants for placement there. And finally, Sarah has, as a result of wanting to be as transparent as possible, we adopted a shared service agreement. That shared service agreement is nothing more than what what has taken place over the years. There's no duplication of resources. What it is to ensure that the borough has, because Sarah's an independent body, to ensure that the borough has a spot for files here, that there are times where there are documents that have to be filed in conjunction with Sarah, that's done by the borough, so they're worked in conjunction. So it's not a duplication of effort, but in this particular case, we felt it was better to memorialize things that were taking place over the years. And the last thing, and I apologize for the long report, I just spoken to some of our volunteer fire service members, and they are still looking for volunteers for that. Our numbers are extremely low, and I'm just to call out again to all our residents that if in fact this is something you would like to do, please reach out. They could certainly use you. And Mayor, that is my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Public Safety, Councilman Anoa'i.
Thank you, esteemed Mayor. I want to take a moment to thank Councilman Zabrowski for touching on a lot of topics that do connect with public safety as well. In addition to that, I'd like to thank the residents, those within the borough and beyond, for their support, especially in the area of finances towards the family of Christian Rivera, and to support the family through his tragic departure, and praying that the Lord will continue to comfort his family even in this challenging time. And I'd like to take a moment to thank our special safety agencies and our professionals for their availability and, their support for just the challenging time during the earthquake, for any, scares within the borough, and express my gratitude for the fact that there weren't, any casualties or any injuries to report so far. So those are my updates so far, progress, and thanks and gratitudes. Thank you, esteemed Mayor.
Thank you. Public Works, Councilman Kalasi.
Progress, Mayor.
Thank you. Recreation, Councilman Sinarski.
Thank you, Mayor. If you're coming down Main Street in Saraville, you see spring is here. That means the rec department's really going into full swing. There's going to be tennis clinics April 17th and 18th for ages 3 to 14. There's a children's bingo on April 30th, ages 6 to 12. May 4th, I'm sorry, Saturday, there's the big fishing tournament at Kennedy Park. That is a real good time. Everybody you don't even have to fish or have children, just come down and support us. We'll be there. There'll be a food truck, so I'm sure there'll be somebody there doing something, an ice cream truck for the kids. And it's a real good day. Other than that, progress.
Thank you, Councilman. Water and Sewer, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. Environmental, we saw a great presentation from Elise earlier. Is there anyone that was sitting out here that didn't learn something new about recycling today? So I certainly did. So I appreciate that. And I hope that everyone goes on the Recycle Coach so that we could be better stewards of our environment. So we have, as she mentioned, Earth Day, April 20th at Kennedy Park, 9 to 12. Rain date is May 4th. April 27th, seedlings at the Active Adult Center. And I'm really proud of the first environmental shout out to the Sabert organization and many more, because there are so many organizations that really are doing the right thing for the environment. I do want to let you know that starting April 15th, weather permitting, there will be hydrant flushing going on in town. The schedule will be based on the weather, so it's a loose schedule, but just be aware that there's hydrant flushing. The Board of Health is having their rabies clinic on May 4th. And one of the things I wanted to ask before getting here is, I've seen a lot of notifications for it. I don't know where it's happening. Public Works garages. Okay. I also want to let everyone know that the Police Adult Academy, learning about law enforcement, is nearly full. And there will be the Junior Police Academy this summer again. Very popular program. And of course, Elise had mentioned the paper shred at Fort Grumpy on April 27th. And I do want to also send my condolences to the Scanlon family, the Rivera family, and to Randy. We just found out his mother had passed this afternoon, so we'll be joining his family for that. And for all the first responders and what they do, I want to say, a heartfelt thank you. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. General discussion items?
Application for a person-to-person transfer for the following, license number 1219-33-012009 from Ale House Tavern and Tap LLC to Saraville Liquor License LLC, located at 1899 Route 35 South in South Amboy. All reports and paperwork have been filed.
Is there any reason why not to issue this transfer? Okay. So for the next meeting, there'll be a reso?
Yeah. Authorization for the tax collector to refund 2024 taxes and cancel all subsequently billed taxes due to 100% disabled veteran tax exemption covering 20 Smith Street, Block 158, Lot 13.01, in the amount of $2,092.35. A reso at the next meeting. Coin toss request received from several River Dogs for September 14th and 15th.
Next item.
Request to travel received from the several fire department to attend a Memorial Day parade on May 27th in South River. And authorization for Masjid Sadar and Community Center to use the portable stage for their prayer service at Kennedy Park on April 10th.
I have a question on that. Do we charge them the same fees we charge all the people when they use our stage, do you know?
It's supposed to be in compliance.
Okay.
I'm looking to get confirmation on that.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. Business administrators report.
Some personnel moves, Mayor. Authorization to appoint Jeffrey Zaleski and Daniel Herrick to Laborer 1 in the Department of Public Works effective April 16th.
Next item.
Authorization to promote Vincente Buffalino and Beth Fryer to Senior Public Safety Telecommunicator effective April 16th.
Next item.
Authorization to appoint Michael Klossick to Laborer 1 in the Water and Sewer Department effective April 16th.
Next item.
And authorization to appoint Thomas Waskalevich to Keyboarding Clerk 1 in the Tax Assessor's Office effective April 16th.
Is there anything else?
No.
CEO Denise, CFO rather? Thank you. Borough Engineers report, Jay?
Thank you, Mayor. One item, looking for authorization per plans and specifications for the replacement of the roofs at the Melrose Firehouse and the President Park Firehouse. Resolution at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Borough Attorneys report?
No report.
Thank you. This time I'm going to open the public portion for comments on any and all issues. Jim? Oh, wait a minute. Let me get the young lady first, please. That's you. You need to state your name and your street, please.
Well, if I could say the street. Kathy Berkowitz. I'm on Wisakowski,
Can you
Avenue?
pull the mic down? Thank you.
Wisakowski Avenue in the Spinnaker Point community, the 55 and over. We're active adults, very active adults. I've been calling. I speak to Zach regularly. I've called Mr. Zambrowski. This is appalling that Gondik Drive has 5 streetlights out. 2 are out since October. This is an area of Sayreville, of Harlan and Sayreville that is so dark because we're near the marinas and is unsafe, along with the roads having so many potholes. Like I said, there's now 5 streetlights out. I tried to call JCP&L. I went on their website. The only problem with their website is they ask you for the house number that's closest to the streetlights that are out. Well, guess what? There's no houses on Gondik. We're all off Gondik. So that's the end of the website.
Usually there's a number on a pole.
I have the numbers. I've given them. I have done
All right.
everybody else's
Ms.
job
Berkowitz.
and given the numbers off the pole. I've given
Does
that.
Zach have the numbers?
You know what? I gave it to him a while ago.
Okay.
And now there's more numbers to be added.
Okay,
But-
so if you could send them to Glenn, I think Matt got us a friend at JCP&L, which we will forward them to him.
Well, I don't know. This has gone on, like I said, consistently sined October. And
I
everybody
have,
says something's going to be done.
This is my 24th year sitting up here. It had gone on before me. There used to be companies that would come in and do an audit where you could challenge what you were being billed. I haven't seen one of those companies in this term.
I'd even
But-
like a phone
But
number for the governor's
I don't have
office.
anybody on payroll to go around at night to read this, so I'm dependent on the people living in the neighborhood.
Well, I've done that. I've done it
I
many,
get it.
many
All right,
times.
so-
I stopped, I've given the numbers, and nothing happens.
Let's see
Nothing.
what happens this time.
Well, I hope
It's the
so.
best I can do.
Well, it's pretty poor. I'd even call the governor if I could.
Call him.
You have a number? I'd be glad to do
I
it.
imagine
I'm-
it's on,
I'm
I'm not
really-
I'm not being a wise guy, but I would assume the governor has telephone numbers listed. You'll probably get
It's
staffers.
just, I'm looking out for all of the.
For all of us. I
people,
get it.
The residents of
Yeah.
Gondik. This
Yeah.
is a very dark area. It's dangerous. It's unsafe.
I'm familiar with Gondek Drive.
And also, I am appalled at Route 35. It's as if that part of Sayreville doesn't exist. It is dirty. By one of the clubs, constantly, the Ernston Road U-turn, there's always bottles, cans. The grass is rarely cut. It's disgusting. And I honestly, I don't like to tell my friends to come to my home through that way. Because it's just like, they're asking me, where did you move? Where did you move?
Let me deal with the lights first.
Well, I'm asking about 35 since I moved here.
Okay.
Also.
Route 35,
And because shouldn't it be up
it's
to,
what? State Highway, yeah.
right, but shouldn't it be up to the businesses? And can't you get the businesses to clean up around them? There's, right, as you go down 35, there's stuff along the side of the road. And especially, like I said, the Ernston Road U-turn. It is, they have a party, there's a party in the U-turn. It's really despicable, and we should be proud of the town, not have.
Correct.
Not have this, really. I came from
Okay.
another town that was spotless and taken care of. This is sad. This is very sad. And especially the fact that we don't have lights. That's really safety. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Are there any other?
Sorry, who do I give the numbers to again?
Our business administrator, Glenn Skarzinski.
Okay. No, I don't. Okay, I'll give you his email. Thank you.
Demi?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Demetra Wagner, 7
bigger.
Roma
There you
Street. And I'm a committee woman in District 1 for the GOP. And I just want to piggyback on her. She said Sayreville's very dirty. So I've gotten complaints as committee women that Kennedy Park is so dirty. A couple of other parks are so dirty. And I brought this before to a couple of the council members, and I spoke to a lieutenant that was at OLV's health fair on Saturday that I have a little idea that would probably make the borough a lot of money. It would probably make a lot of people mad, but I don't know anyone in my 48 years of my life that has ever gotten a litter ticket.
Gotten what, Demi?
Has never gotten a litter ticket. We see the signs everywhere. They're like $250 and, second offenses are higher and third offenses are higher. And I know, but we do have police officers and auxiliary officers. They probably have cameras on their lapels. They have cameras on their cars. Cigarette butts is the #1 producer of litter. I see people throwing things out their window.
Demi, this weekend is Earth Day, and Elise is bringing out an awful lot of people. That's generally an annual event there. And then the Parks Department. Kennedy Park is a catch-all the way the wind blows. And anything that's not secure in a trash receptacle usually ends up in Kennedy Park. I don't know why, but it does. The wind blows in that direction. And if you go to the end of the park, between the park and Ernston Road, where there's undergrowth and forest and water, bodies of water, we pull out shopping carts. We pull out so much stuff every year. It's not that we're not aware of it. It's, we don't have a full-time staff to go around picking up litter.
Oh, and I completely understand that. And with the bad storms and the winds, and it happens to be
Right.
recycling night, it gets
Right.
all over the place.
Right.
And I completely understand that. My whole point is not that. My whole point is that I have never, ever in my lifetime known anyone that's got a litter ticket or anyone that has given out a litter ticket, except the lieutenant on Saturday said he gave one in his entire lifetime. So what I'm trying to say is, if we want to make some money for the borough and at the same time teach people a lesson, whether they're juveniles or adults or whoever, is that you can't just come to Sayreville whether you live here or whether you're just driving through and just throw your trash everywhere. And expect not to get a ticket. And I know some people will complain and say, oh, that's just the police department trying to make their monthly whatever budgets or whatever. I'm just saying, like, there are other countries like Singapore that are very strict and they're clean. You know, their towns are, their countries are clean, their cities are clean, their suburbs are clean. And I think we can just, putting a sign up doesn't really do anything. You have to teach people lessons. And I think if somebody gets a $250 fine, or their child does, they're going to think about it the next time. They might complain about
I
it.
have a friend who just came back from his first tourist trip to Japan. He said there are no trash receptacles in Japan. You keep it on the body till you get home where you dispose of it. Wouldn't work here.
Oh, no, I don't agree with that. I think that's ridiculous.
We do our best. I think come Sunday, you go through Kennedy Park, Elise does an excellent job every year. And then the Parks Department keeps up with it. Remember, we're 16 square miles. And we do a lot with the payroll that we have.
Well, thank you, Mayor, and I want to thank you for running the meeting not until like 12:30 midnight, like
Yeah.
the previous meetings are. I want to say thank you because that was really ridiculous. And God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I am back to talk about something I talked about before, which is important, and that is veterans' preference. John, I appreciate your looking into it with the planner, but as we know so often, especially you as an attorney would know this, the answer you get so often depends upon the question you ask. And if you ask the question about homeless veterans, yes, that's the right answer. We know that the county commission director, Ron Rios, has said they did a census. We are very fortunate in Middlesex. We don't have any homeless veterans. So my question wasn't about homeless veterans. It was about low and moderate income veterans getting a preference, because that's what we talked about originally, not homeless veterans. And I looked at the new law that the governor signed, thinking that maybe this would address that, and he signed it in Perth Amboy. Yvonne was the sponsor of it, and it was really just, it was based on the old law, the existing law. So I took a look at that existing law that was in place, and not a lot was changed with respect to veterans. That law, the old law that was put in place when this was approved, and the new law provides that there can be up to 50% set aside of the affordable for low and moderate income veterans. Not 50%. And I think, John, you said there are 88 folks there, so that would be 44 units could be set aside for low and moderate income veterans. And when I first suggested this 6-7 years ago, that's exactly what I envisioned. I had that pamphlet, Mayor, you might recall. I distributed that pamphlet to the council, and some of you accepted it, some did not. And I'm sorry that I didn't get more involved in this back then, but you can only do so much, and God knows we were fought every step of the way throughout this affordable housing COA fiasco. But there was the planning board that caused this suit, which was a problem. There was the flawed agreement that the mayor signed that thankfully a judge overturned. And now this veterans preference for homeless, which is really a bait and switch. We never talked about veterans. We never talked about preference for homeless veterans. We talked about a veterans preference for low and moderate income veterans. And the result of it doing the way they did it is that no veterans received a preference. That wasn't the intent. I'm sure it wasn't the intent of the council. I'm sure it wasn't the intent of Sarah. I know it certainly wasn't the intent of the folks in town that I talked to. And, I don't know exactly how this happened, because we certainly talked about it at the council. We talked about it at Sarah. Maybe this is one of the reasons why it's so important to be able to ask questions. So we could ask the right questions at the right time. And perhaps if some of you were paying attention, we'd get the right answers, or we'd have folks look into it. So this wouldn't have happened. But as I said, the result is no veteran received the preference out of this deal. Out of these 88 units that we know of, certainly none that indicated they were a veteran on the application. Not one of those 88 is a low or moderate income veteran, because there are no homeless, thankfully, thank God, there are no homeless veterans in Middlesex County. It's wrong. It's a bait and switch thing. It's fraud, and it needs to be made right. Now, John, you talked about 23, 24. I know in 25, there are new numbers coming out. We have to take a look at this, but we need to address this. And I know you have this silly no questions policy that I've been coming to meetings since 1973. First time I've heard this, but I can understand why you wouldn't want questions. When you've got a lot to hide, you don't want questions. But I think this deserves, and John, I appreciate what you did, but I think we have to look at the other side of it, the veterans' preference for low and moderate income veterans, not just for homeless veterans. And I would appreciate it if the governing body would look into that, and greatly appreciate it, I'm sure that people would, if you'd comment on that. Thank you very much.
Any other comments? Ken?
Ken Olszewski, 108 North Edward Street. I grew up in Sayreville, and it had the slogan, Sayreville, home of nationally known industry. I've been coming to council meetings for over 65 years. Why do I say that? Does that make me smarter than anybody else? No. But it gives me the background to say, I know what's gone on at council meetings, and I don't think anyone could challenge that. In 65 years, you want to know who served when I first started coming here? I'll tell you, Harold Boehm, who was a councilman before he was mayor. Then you went up the hill, you had Ray Presnell, insurance agent on Roma Street. You went further up the hill, you had Eddie Dushko, a tavern owner. You went to President Park, you had Pat Latham, a gas station owner. You went to Morgan, you had Al Schussler, a businessman, and you went over here to Main Street, and you had Joe Zigolinski, a tavern owner. They were people when I started here years ago. And by the way, I didn't look them up. I know that from coming here. So if you think I don't know what's gone on at council meetings, I can tell you, you're sadly mistaken. And the idea that there should be no questions and no answers. Of course, we all know that you can't be forced to answer a question. That's common sense. Nobody's going to put a gun to your head. But you know why you want to answer questions? You want to answer questions because you owe it to the public, to the people that elected you. Because unfortunately now, you know what we have in Sayreville? Let me tell you. We have, instead of the home of nationally known industry, the home of secret government. And you know what secret government is? Secret government always leads to corrupt government. You know about corrupt government, don't you? Don't people here know about corrupt government? Well, let me quote you your flyers 4 or 5 months ago. You want to hear what they said? Sayreville First Team promotes transparency that puts an end to corruption and self-dealing. You said that in October. Let me tell you another thing you said. Sayreville First Team will restore trust in local government. You said that in October. How about another one? Sayreville Democrats are a pattern of corruption. So I think you know corruption. You call them a pattern of corruption. How about another one? Sayreville Dems can't be trusted with our tax dollars. and several Democrats are hopelessly corrupt. So you know all about corruption. And secret government, I think anybody will agree, leads to corruption. And ladies and gentlemen, we have here secret government. And everybody's responsible here. You know, it's not only the attorney, who I don't remember anybody in Cerebral voting for. We can't just blame him. That's nice to blame somebody. We blame the former chairman who's dead now, like that was all his fault. We know that's nonsense. That wasn't true. I don't want to absolve him from any blame, but he was a puppet master. He was a puppet, and the puppet masters are still around. We all know that. And if you're not part of the solution here, you're part of the problem. Let's make that clear to everybody. The idea that we should have secret government, we should have corrupt government is repulsive to every taxpayer in this town. And you should all hang your head in shame when you leave here tonight if you're a part of corrupt secret government. Because secret government, let me repeat it, is corrupt government. And what I said when I was up before, 30 years at the same rate for a Middlesex County Utilities Authority agreement. Boy, that's really watching. That's a watchdog for the people of Sayreville. You're doing such a good job. And that secret, corrupt government is all present, and it's at every meeting that we come to when we see what you're passing. And it's great. You don't want to answer anything, and you don't want any questions. Now we know. Secret government. From now on, when I come to the microphone, it'll be Ken Olszewski, home of secret, corrupt government. Let's call it what it is. Thank you very much.
Are there any other comments? Being no other comments, entertain a motion to close the public portion.
Make a motion to close the public?
There's a second? Second. Roll call? All in favor? Opposed? Is there any other business before this body? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.